World Extermination Radio with your hosts, John Vail and Tanner West.
Whatever, we're not professionals. Sorry, everybody. Okay, we're recording now. So
Okay, so we have this.
we don't have to go back and cover everything we did. In case anybody's listening, we did talk about technology and stuff. I think we were just warming up, so we're a little more comfortable now, so we can talk about whatever we want to. But for anybody who's actually listening to this on YouTube, who is probably most of you, I'm John 40 Ounce Vail, and I'm here today with Jay, my cousin, and my brother Randy.
What's up?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I just totally broke the flow of conversation by
It's all good.
by talking about this. So
Yeah.
what were we talking about? We're talking about a game, right? Rocket League.
Yeah,
right?
we're playing. Yeah, talking about Rocket League.
So what's Rocket League? I never actually played Rocket League before.
Rocket League's it's such a the premises is pretty much like soccer but with like cars, and that's really why I got into it, was because I played soccer for so many years, and a lot of people I played soccer with were like, get Rocket League, and sure enough, it's pretty much soccer with cars. You can get on 1v1, 3v3, or like a 5v5, and I don't know, it's just fun to pick up and play, and I don't know, I just resonated with me, so I picked it up and downloaded it, and it's fun. So
Yeah.
it's pretty competitive as well. It's there's a lot of, you can level up in the game and such, but I just play it pretty much online more casually, which is fun with my friends and such.
How'd you find out about that? Did you find it on Steam?
Yeah, I found it on Steam. Some of my friends that I played soccer with hit me up on Steam, was like, just download this game. They said it to me like very simply like that. So I went on Steam, I looked at the video, and I'm like, well, this can't go wrong. It's got, soccer, and it's got, cars and stuff.
Vehicles,
Yeah, and it's just, there's some carnage involved, so let me get this. So I just picked it up and, started playing it, which is...
So what do you do in this game? You drive a car, right?
Yeah, you drive a car.
And there's like a soccer ball? Is that...
Yeah, there's a
How it
ball
works?
that comes down. The physics are kind of neat because your car also is able to double jump, and you have you have a rocket attached to you, so you can fly your car kind of around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and when you're first starting out, you're kind of limited to more like being on the ground, but more advanced players, like, they know how to catch a ball and intercept it up in the air, and like it just brings a whole new dynamic to soccer, at like the aspect of like the game of what it was, and it's in an arena based. So there's like walls that you can ride up on, and you can do flips and stuff and hit the ball, and it's really fun with the physics and such.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when did you start playing this?
I think I started playing it around this time, I believe, last year, and it was snowing out one day, so I was like, I gotta go buy something. I don't know. Sometimes you just get that initiative to be like, play something new. So I downloaded it. It was working great on my laptop that I had, because that's what I'm down to right now. But I just picked it up, and it was playing good. And there's games with like vehicles in it. Like, I don't know. I didn't have a game recently with that type of aspect in it. So I was like, let me get that. Because I used to like playing like Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Twisted
Metal, or like even like Grand Theft Auto or stuff like that. Like, there was always a car involved, and I'm in the car all the time now. I'm always driving, and it's just nice to be able to like try to put those skills to the game, and even in Grand Theft Auto, like,
That's true, isn't it? Like, I noticed that sometimes after I play like Grand Theft Auto or something. I don't know. I never really talked about this with anybody before, but sometimes after I play like Grand Theft Auto 2, or like even sometimes like playing Doom, just like dodging projectiles and stuff, sometimes I'll get into my car right afterwards, and I feel like I'm better at driving.
Yeah, you're
Do you feel that way? Because I know you started driving.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. Yeah,
You notice that? Yeah. I don't know, like something about just like moving fast, and like you're just like, you have like a heightened sense of awareness, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're driving, you're just better at driving. Like you're
more aware.
Yeah, you see more cars, like before, like you see what cars are going to do before they do it. like it's, when like traffic lights are going to change color, and you just know ahead of time. You have like that foresight while you're driving, just from like playing these games. I don't know. I always felt like that when I was playing games like Doom, and like playing, especially in like really competitive, like when I'm playing like Capture the Flag and things like that, because the game is so fast. I mean, we did this LAN before, and that was like the most intense game of Capture the Flag we've ever played.
that game just
intense.
cycled. Yeah, we cycled to the absolute highest level we could be playing at. Like,
It was so crazy.
Yeah, I remember getting up, standing up, and my head was I just felt like I just had the zone. When you get that zone, And you got up and like we all just were like, yeah, this was awesome, and like, but it took a little while to like kind of come down from that. I believe like adrenaline was like squeezing out a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that's so weird how games will like make you sweat when they're like, it's
Yeah.
like you're not even
You're
doing
just sitting
anything,
down.
but exactly, you're just sitting down and you're playing a game that's like hard as hell, and you'll just sweat. Like it'll just be like you're just like so tense, your hair will stand up, your skin will get warm.
yeah, and I think everybody that whether you don't have to be a competitive person in personality or not, but it's just nice to have something competitive, whether you're playing it to beat a time or you're playing against someone else, and when that gets risen like that and you're in that zone, it's just it's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I love so much about these games that require so much skill, is because we were talking about this earlier about how some video games are just like they're so slow paced and they like hold your hand. They always want you to like get the achievements and you do like these, and they're so like they're babying the player, and like they make you feel like you're good at it without actually having the skill.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And it's hard to it's kind of hard to get for me personally, because like playing like a lot of the older games, like that was something like when I was building my arcade cabinet, like I wanted to make sure I kept those older games that like they were pushing you, and like if the game said game over, like that just gave me more drive to go beat it the next time. you
Yeah,
know?
it's like
Right.
shut up, game. I can beat you.
Yeah. And when you see in your lives and you're counting them down, you had 3, then you had 2, now you had 1, and then you had 0. When you're on 0, you got to perform. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to,
Right.
because that game's over, and like some games, the older games, didn't have necessarily, saves, saving features and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. On these newer games, you have like these safety nets where everything is like auto saved, like every 10 minutes of progress that you make. So it's like even if you die, you just go right back to like 10 seconds ago, and you just do the same thing over again. It's like that's all you really have to worry about. But like when games like when we started, there was this time where we were playing these emulators on your GameCube, I think, or on your Wii,
Oh yeah,
and we
yeah.
played Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
And
man,
that game was so hard, and we played it for hours.
That was
We died
another-
so many
yeah.
times.
I remember sweating on that game too, man. I just was sitting there like, that was a great like co-op adventure there. Like you're going through the game, and like there's angles in that game where you literally have to nail it to the T because of between the projectiles and like obstacles that you have to jump over. Like it took us a long time to get through that, but it was part hilarious, and it was awesome. That was great.
Yeah, that game would get us so fired up. And I was like, we were so hell-bent on beating that game. It was such an addictive, like, the way they just kind of, like, that small window of opportunity you had to, like, complete the levels, and, like, just get past the enemies. It was,
Yeah.
I don't even remember it really distinctly because it was so long ago, but it was, I remember, just we played that for so many hours just trying to get to the end of that game.
A lot of like the older stuff, they had like a lot of like character-based games that like, there's like a whole like back, like if you start looking through like all the game titles for like old consoles, like it was more common to have like characters that you saw on TV.
Yeah,
or, like,
cartoon
right,
characters,
yeah.
movie games.
Yeah, like so I always like picking those up because it's like hilarious to like play with like some of the older characters, or, like old Nickelodeon characters on a game. It's funny,
Simpsons.
yeah, because like a lot of stuff, like when I have the arcade cabinet up and I have friends over, I'm showing them stuff that they've never seen before, and they're like, "Wait a second, I had the SNES, I had the the N64, but I didn't know that game was for that or this or so it's just it's funny,
Yeah, I played a lot of Sega Genesis games. One game I was really hooked on, and this is like actually my first like not my first, but like most serious like rage quit story was I was playing Streets of Rage 3, and that I think that was a game that like it wasn't very common, like it wasn't on shelves like when it came out. I think I'm actually, I could be full of shit. I honestly don't know, but it wasn't as popular as Streets of Rage 1 and 2. And those games were like pretty easy, but they made what I read somewhere was that Streets of Rage 3, they made like a Japanese version, and you had and they made an American version. And the American version, they made the American version harder. And
Oh, really?
yeah, I think
Oh, cool.
I think you had like a bigger health bar or extra lives or something weird like that, or you could do the special moves like without any of the, because like in the American version you had like this power meter, and what you would do is you could do like a special move that was unique to your character, and it would do a lot of damage to the enemies. And so I would beat up these guys and do these moves, and every time you used it, your power meter would go down to 0, and you have to let it charge up. And if you used it before it was fully charged, it would take away your health. So like you would lose health that way, and the game was like super hard for that reason. Anyway, I was trying to beat the game, and I got to like level 3 out of like 6, and I I got my ass kicked so many times because like the enemies are just like the AI in that game is just like they're always circling around you and you have to beat up like 30 guys at a time. It's like it was super crazy. Anyway, I was so fired up after that. I was so mad. I went to play Skull Tag. And because I was just like I was so sick of this game, I wanted to play something else. And I played Skull Tag, and I played in this like public server where these guys were playing, and I think there was like 4 or 5 guys that were like in a clan, so they always joined the same team, and I was always on the other team with like all the other people. And these guys had practice all the time, and they always joined the same team, and like other people were like quitting because like they kept losing, and then the teams would get unbalanced. So I would be like on a team with like 2 people against a guy with like 6, and these guys were like they were like crushing me, and they were like so arrogant and like and like douchey about it. Like they were like always like taunting people every time they killed them. They're like, "You fail it," and all that shit. And I got so mad that I actually took my keyboard and smashed it over my knee. And I have a picture of it, and I was so angry. And looking back on it, I was so stupid. But it was just like after playing so much Sega Genesis, I got like so fired up and angry that like when I played another game like that was equally as hard, I was just so mad.
It's like mentally, enough's enough, you know?
Yeah.
You just like let it out, you know?
I made this blog post after it. I was like, Skull Tag owes me $20 for a new keyboard. It was so stupid though. I feel stupid about it now because I'm much more like calm and reserved when I play games. But it's funny though because that these older games, the way they're designed, they're like they bait you into like wanting to beat it. And even though if it's the skill is just like not in your ballpark, you keep trying. You just keep trying, and you keep feeding the game quarters. Or like you know how they have those like arcade machines, you just keep throwing in quarters, and that's just like the way they do it to like get you hooked on to the game. And like the games they make today are like they seem like they're like addictive, but not in a way that's really like challenging your skill. You know what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to like?
The first game that I played that I noticed the biggest difference, and this is playing a game that was kind of like before my time, not before my time, but kind of like before my time was a game. It was Contra. Was going back to Contra and even Contra Hardcore. To beat those games, first time around took me so long and so many patterns that when I finally beat that game, I felt like I just graduated something. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like I literally felt that I'm literally to like the next level, and I just noticed like early on some games that had like a level up feature. I didn't get that same oomph like when that same sense of pride when I'm level 8 now or level 9 or something. Some of like the newer games that I did when I played. Just was finally able to beat Contra for the first time, or Contra Hardcore was like another one that I had to beat, and like I just remember like I felt like I legit like did something. It's because it took so many times and I was so like into like just becoming better at the game. And like it consumed me to the point I had to beat it because if I didn't beat it, I felt bad about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm just so bored of like games like holding my hand and just kind of like telling me what to do, and I don't know. Like I get that. Well, one thing I really miss is projectile dodging. That's That's such a cool thing, and I'm like kind of like bored of like bullet weapons and like hit scan weapons because like hit scan because like you don't like dodge anything, it's not a skill that you acquire from being good at the game. You just kind of like the more cover you take, the safer you are, and that's really all. That's the skill that you learn from that game, and it's not a difficult skill to acquire. But like with these games like Contra and Streets of Rage, like you have to learn like the button combinations. You got to get that timing like perfectly right. And it's like that's so crucial in order to be good at those games, and that's such a like an addictive like skill that you want to work on to like get good at it.
Yeah, like I had to change like the way I looked at the game when I was playing some of those games because there's certain areas like let's say you're playing like a boss battle or something. Mm-hmm. If you look at the game in a different aspect, it's kind of like you're trying to find the area of like least probability that you're going to get hit with something. So like if you stand in certain areas in like Contra, you're better off like beating the next boss or the next enemy or such. Yeah,
that like pattern recognition and like those are just like cool skills. I don't know, those are fun.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of like it's definitely different than what it is now.
I wonder if games are going to make a comeback because I really liked the new Doom game. I really like how you dodge fireballs in that game, and you're very fast, and you can climb and vault over things. And I wonder if that game's gonna like kind of like revolutionize. Not maybe it's kind of a strong word, but
it was really nice to see that game get attention I noticed from a lot of people, because like not only the people who played Doom, for like lifelonger people originally, but like it was nice to like hear that game being played by people for like the first time, which is neat,
Yeah, and
a lot
like
of them enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
and it was nice to hear that like not only do they enjoy it, but like it's kind of like if you played like the older games, like you knew there was that quality like gameplay in it, and like it was nice to be able to like see them in the new Doom like still continue a lot of the same kind of like commonalities that like made the game so great, and people picking it up for the first time that they get to experience it, which is great.
Yeah, I thought that was cool that like even like that's what happened when Doom came out, the new game when it was they were actually like made an announcement for like in a release date. The Doom World community, that website, just a whole bunch of new people just funneled in, and it's always been like really cool because it's a cool thing because a lot of new people are starting to make maps now, so we have like new maps coming out like at a unprecedented rate, like especially because we have better computers now and we have better technology and all kinds of things like this Doom editor that I use called GZ Doom Builder. It's so fast and so like, and it has like all these like automated features in it, like it can generate stairs and shapes for rooms and stuff, and it's like you can just make a map really fast. So a lot of people that are just getting into mapping for the first time are like, everything's like pretty user friendly now. Because like I remember reading in the past when like Doom first came out, even though that was like super popular with making levels and stuff, they had like the shittiest technology. They had these garbage. I don't want to say they're garbage, but because they're historical. But they had like these old like programs that would like crash all the time, and you couldn't do like half the stuff that you can do with GZ Doom Builder now. So people are making more maps, and it's really cool that these new things that even like people that weren't very interested in Doom in the first place, they're playing the new Doom game and they're getting into it.
Yeah, it's great. Like, man, there's been so many problems. Well, I didn't have the best computers and stuff like initially, like when I started, because like I had like a little experience with like mapping with like Counter-Strike Source. I was trying to make like use Source SDK.
Oh man, that's difficult.
Yeah, and it took me like a long time. I'm sure at the time, with my age and my experience, I'm sure there's people out there that were, because there's people that are making awesome maps, but like it took a while for people, like I guess, like to get good at it. And oh man, there's been so many times where like stuff is frozen. Like I'm right through like learning this.
Yeah, it'll crash while you're saving or like something crazy like that.
Yeah, you're adding entities to the map, and then all of a sudden it's not, something happens and just it all of a sudden just crashes on you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, we still have to deal with that sometimes with Doom, but not as much anymore. And we're very lucky about that. You said you used to make maps for Counter-Strike or Counter-Strike Source?
Yeah, there was me and my brother and one of my cousins and just some people that just people we met online. We actually were hosting a server for a while on Counter-Strike Source, and a lot of our age group was like, we were pretty young at the time, so like, we had people that were like 12 to like 16 was the age range, and we kind of grew with the game over the course of 2-3 years, and we were making maps. We started out making maps that it was kind of funny because we were making stuff that like we all have seen in our lives. Like there used to be this old abandoned golf course, and like me and my brother, like we worked like hard trying to make like a golf course map. So we were playing, and it extended into our time of playing like airsoft a lot, because it was just a great time. Like we were just always out in the woods, like shooting each other and stuff, having fun. And the fact that like in the wintertime we could go on Counter-Strike Source and play the golf course that we used to play airsoft in that was abandoned. It was just fun, and it was fun like working with 3 or 4 people with like their ideas and their mapping, because we were always making a map, loading it onto the server, and then we're all able to play it. And it kind of like snowballed into like something greater and something bigger. So we all had kind of like our things. Like my maps were more just more like jumping maps around, like between objects, like stuff like that. And we made like a couple other maps. I tried making the greenhouses that we have back at home. So like it was fun to like try to like make them, because I was looking for something that was like simple structures that I could have, and like the greenhouses were perfect. And like it was just fun to like being able to map that, and like especially with people that like someone like was like from like New York, and like, you know, not saying like we would ever like meet up or something at the time because we were like really young, but like I was like, yeah, I have like greenhouses, like let me show you, and I was making the map, and he's like, that's awesome. Like he got to see it for the first time, which is funny, you know. So
I didn't know you played airsoft.
lots, yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my brother.
Did you, Randy? Did you used to play airsoft? You played it with us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to play in the woods too. Like
Yeah.
we would get these like assault rifles and like shotguns and handguns and stuff. Like there was like an Army Navy store near our house, and we could get airsoft guns from there.
Yeah.
And we would go out into the woods and shoot each other.
It's so funny because like recently with everything that's been going on, I just remember the time that I was getting my first airsoft gun was I was buying that online, and it was like I felt like a criminal buying this thing because like I was like 15 or something. And, like I got like a one of those like prepaid debit cards that you buy for gifts at like the Walgreens. Like I had to like get like a credit card to like debit card essentially from a store to like buy this thing, and then like it took like 3 weeks, and the whole entire time I'm like, I hope this thing doesn't get like, you know, I'm like younger and stuff, and like I'm like trying to hide it from like, you know, my mom and stuff, and it finally came in, and this thing was a big Sterog thing. It was like a AEG electric, gosh. And I just remember just ripping that thing all over the place, and I had the best time was like I had a potato gun too. So I used to always go back in the woods and just shoot potatoes off and like shoot BBs like all everywhere, and we had it was really nice. My brother, his age group, he's like 2 years younger than me. Like his grade was like really into it. My age group, 2 years older, I had a couple friends, but we would just, you know, collaborate between us two, and then my one other cousin, he would bring his friends from his development over, and we would just have these massive battles in this old either abandoned golf course, and we also had these old bike jumps, like dirt bike jumps.
Oh man!
Wow.
So way back there, so we had all these berms and stuff, and it was like nice to like, you know, hop up on and prone and like climb around in, and like I used to make smoke grenades too for it, and like and, yeah, and I used to make firecrackers.
How do you make smoke grenades?
It was like
this is like the anarchist cookbook now.
yeah. Oh yeah.
How do you build a bomb?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple ways actually, but like one that's like relatively safe and relatively easy to make was we were making them out of ping pong balls, and it's mostly in the design, but we got one ping pong ball, and we cut up a bunch of smaller ping pong balls into like little pieces. We drilled a hole in the one big ping pong ball and put all the shavings and all the pieces into the one. And with aluminum foil, you had it around, and we made it into like a kind of like a German type of grenade where it had like a handle to it. But okay. What you did was, and there was like a little filter out of it, is you heat the aluminum foil encompassed in this ball, and as you heat it up, the plastic that were in the ping pong balls makes this nice like white smoke, and it makes this like inferno inside of that. And as soon as you light it, this thing just starts spewing out smoke, and you just get to like toss it. Like, wow. Yeah. So
you guys were like really deep into this.
Yeah.
Because we kind of wanted to do something like that too, but there wasn't enough kids in our neighborhood. Like we just couldn't get enough people to like do anything like really outrageous and fun.
We're just doing capture the flag.
Yeah, that's right. We went to this craft store called Michael's, and I found like these like blue and red like washcloths or something, or chamois or something, and I got like these wooden like flag posts, and I would put and I stitched them onto the flag post. And so we had these flags, and we would try to play capture the flag. But between it was usually like 2 versus 2, so it was like it wasn't that exciting. It could have been a lot of fun though. And we didn't really have a lot of cool places to play in either though. Like we did have like a wooded area, so there was like a nice forest and like a creek that you could run along, and there was like stepping stones so you could run across the creek. But it was hard to like set up anything really fun. It would have been cool to like have like a construction site or something to play at, or like something with like a lot of cover, you know?
Yeah, there at one point at the peak of us playing, we got down to this one decision because people started, you know, being able to drive, so we would go to like these fields, like you could actually go pay and play airsoft at. But we had this other thought. We just were noticing a bunch of like big buildings, like a Sam's Club. There was a Kmart they were going out of business. So there are just these huge facilities, and we were at the point where we're like, you know what, between all of us, maybe we can contact somebody or like the construction company and say, hey, can we go play in this thing for like a while? And like, you know, have more like an indoor type of, you know, event or something. But I don't know. It was fun, and we were really lucky like to be able to play where we could play at. There was like one instance though, like we started at this one kind of like island. It was back near the creek, and there was like this island, but we were building like a bunch of these foxholes and stuff in there. So we were building these huge, like deep like holes. And like sure enough, we didn't realize, but it was someone's like backyard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he owned the property there. And oh man, like my brother's friend, we had my backpack after school when it started raining, and we had to like climb through the stream to get through here. But I had my backpack, and in there, some of my school papers were in there. Well, my brother's friend, he cut himself, and he's like bleeding, like with the shovel, he cut himself by accident. And he goes in my bag, and he takes out one of my papers and
your homework.
Use the homework.
Blood all over your homework?
Like one of my papers and my thing. It wasn't homework, but it was like one of my old assignments I just had in there.
Yeah.
And like he had this thing and had my name on it. Well, he was bleeding, and he just threw this thing out. Well, this guy's in the back there, and he's like, "What's all these holes in my backyard?" And he finds this paper, it has my name on it, and it ends up it's my grandparents' neighbor. So she's like, "Oh man, like this is this your grandson or something?" And my grandmom, she comes right over, and I remember seeing her come out, and the way she was interrogating me, I was like, something that something bad.
Oh my god!
And she hands me this paper, and she's like, "First off, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't." I'm like, "What is this?" And I'm backtracking in my mind. I was like, "Oh, we were building foxholes in the rain back there," and sure enough, we had to go back and shovel the holes in. So like the guy, he was totally cool about it. He was actually, it's like a running joke now, like when we come over or something, like he knows like we
don't dig any holes.
Yeah. And like it was fun like walking back to like the woods because like we live like right near them, so it was pretty easy to like get access. But like when we used to have like a big group of like 20 people or something, it looks like because people really got into it. We bought like camouflage type of stuff and like ghillie suits and stuff. So like you see a bunch of kids like walking down the street with this stuff, you're like, what is this, like World War III or something? Like,
that's so funny. I didn't know you guys were so into it. I would have joined you guys.
Oh yeah, we
Awesome.
we once in a blue moon we'll still put something together. It was right after Christmas, not this past one, but the year before that. We had a pretty good turnout. We found like a new area.
Oh, you guys played like recently? Wow, I don't even know if I don't know if I still have my gun, but I really wanted to get one of those. I didn't know where to find one, but I got this this Mossberg shotgun.
Oh, nice.
And you could load the pellets into like the shells, but it would shoot one at a time. And I misread it, and I thought it would fire all of them at the same time. So you would shoot, and it would shoot like 10 pellets at once.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! I want that."
Oh yeah.
But that's not what it was, and I was really disappointed.
When we first started, we used to play in our backyard, and we played this game called Iraqi, which is pretty funny because we were like really young, and like we kind of knew what was going on with some stuff. So we made this game called Iraqi, and we used to get old bed sheets and stuff. We used to make like turbans. And stuff.
Oh no!
And it was like we were like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like that age group playing in my backyard, and we'd get a bunch of cardboard boxes, and the premises of the game was there was one like American soldier, and he was up on my on the deck or whatever, and he had this shotgun with this extended clip, and it was a pump action spring loaded shotgun, and like you could pump it a few times and get a couple BBs preloaded and shoot it out like in a blast shot.
Awesome.
And then there was one box that we had my old tetherball in, and you had to steal the gold out of the box. That's where we're playing. But like it was just so much fun to like people were running across the yard like in like turbans and stuff, and like we're shooting. We didn't know any better at the time, but the where the box was and where where the guy was shooting at was literally that was the closest area. So you had to like work your way up, and like once you got close, when you had to come around and open up the latch to get the ball out. You literally were like in full like possible shooting territory, so it was fun to like dodge around and get the ball and like run away, and like
That's so cool.
It was fun, like we played a lot of airsoft, a lot of potato guns.
We had some fun experiences like that too. I can't really remember anything too specifically, but like the kids in my neighborhood were like really well. There was one kid that was like very cool, and then there was another one who he was a really big like mama's boy. Like his mom was always checking up on him. She always wanted to call on him and like call him, make sure he's doing what he's like. Like when he went outside, like she would make sure that he was wearing lotion. This kid was like, like wearing suntan lotion. He was like 17.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, you gotta.
Come on, man up! Like let's
go.
Dude.
Yeah.
We used to yeah.
But we did spend a lot of time watching videos, and I remember watching this one video where they had an airsoft Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
So there was like, so for those of you who hadn't seen it, there was like this scene in the woods, and they had this guy with like, and like full like army gear, and he had like this Gatling gun. And I think, I can't remember if you like rotated it with like a crank or maybe it just fired on its own. I think it was gas powered or something actually.
Oh yeah.
And they had this video where they had this crate with like a TV on it, and this old school like 80s TV, and someone behind the camera was like, fire. And the barrel started spinning like a real Gatling gun and started firing these pellets at it so fast, and it would shatter the screen. And it shot it so much that the TV caught on fire. And I was like, "What kind of airsoft game are you playing?" And I was like, "Oh man, this would be so crazy to get into." But those guns are like $900. So like it was like you really had to like really invest in it. And at the time we were like kids, so we didn't have jobs or anything. We were just using money that mom and dad gave us. For allowance. We used it for guns.
It's really American right there. We started young doing it. Yeah. When we went from, because that's interesting, once you got to the gas level or the electric level, it changed the game up, because when we started out with spring, there was always some bull crap going on where someone was like, I didn't get shot. Well, when we got electrics and we were spraying the BBs, you just knew like if you hit him with enough BBs, he'll eventually give in. So like, as soon as I got my Starlog, that thing was like long distance, way more power. And I just remember like there was always this one kid who would never call himself out, and I'm like, I know how to get him to call himself out. And I'm just like waiting for the opportune moment. He's talking. I would just spray him down.
Just spray him with bullets.
Yeah. When you hear ow, you're like, I got him. Good. Like, yeah, get out of here. Like, it was fun. Yeah, it was definitely. But yeah, once you got to like the electric, like those guns, like that's when we really got into it.
Yeah. I think we like stopped getting into it because it became more expensive. Because like some of the guns, like the springs inside of them would rust, and then we would have to replace them. And some of these guns were like $40, and we didn't have a lot of cash, so like naturally we resorted back to video games.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so easy to go back to video games because you just have like an endless amount of destruction you can do, and there's no cleanup or anything.
Yeah, that's
Unreal
huge.
Tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want to change the amount of blood splatter, you can just go into the console and do that. Like,
yeah,
let's clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the pros and cons of going into a virtual future that we might go into. Like, I don't know. There's that show Black Mirror I've been watching on Netflix is opening my eye on some things because
I haven't really got into that. Please don't spoil it for me.
Oh, gotcha.
But,
okay.
How many episodes have you watched though?
I watched the whole current season. I'm going back to season 1 now, so probably this weekend I might catch up a little bit on it. But it just, without just saying anything, it's just going into the future in general is like the probability of it happening in our lifetime. It seems more and more possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. That show just got me thinking like that because it kind of, without giving it away, kind of leads you to believe that like it could be that type of thing one day where we might be able to go play a game virtually, more with using our conscience and stuff, So.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's Black Mirror is this show that originated in the United Kingdom, and it's on Netflix now. And it came out several years ago, I think, right? Like something like 2009 or something.
I think so, yeah.
So it's not like new. But as far as I know, it's like this TV show that's not continuous, but it's kind of like this. You do like these sketches, and they're very introspective and kind of like it's kind of hard to describe it. It's really weird, but it's a show I wanted to get you into, Randy. It's very cool, especially because like Randy's been showing me some like really cool stuff. Like he showed me. I haven't really watched this since he brought it up, but we started watching Penn and Teller's Bullshit. Have you ever seen that before?
I know. What's that?
It's kind of like this documentary TV show, sort of, where these two guys, Penn and Teller, they used to be, or they might still be, magicians. Yeah. But they're very well read and spoken, and they do like these documentaries where they kind of like documentaries, but it's a documentary series where they have a different topic for every episode. But what they do is they kind of cover these like racy, controversial topics that people don't usually talk about, and they kind of not exploit, but they do like the research and find out things that most people don't know. And they're usually very government related. Like the one we watched recently was about recycling. And they invited these, they did like this documentary where they were interviewing the
people who started recycling.
Yeah. They interviewed like strangers on the street, and they interviewed like a sociology professor, and like people who own these recycling plants. And what happens is like they found out through like these sociology professors were like, people tend to recycle because it feels good. And then like they talked to like these other people who like run these municipal waste plants, and they found out that like it actually costs more money to recycle a plastic bottle than it does to just make a new one. And they were like covered like all these things that you would think like, well, what about like landfills and stuff, and like what about polluting the ocean and stuff like that. And we're never saying like that. Well, they found out that these things don't actually go in the ocean, and landfills are so advanced now that they can compact like the amount of trash for like the next like 1,000 years, in like a 35 square mile area, which is like very small, like considering how much trash that like we throw out all the time. Mm-hmm. So like they like discovered that, and they cover a bunch of other stuff too. Like they have like one on like the 9/11 conspiracies and like religion, and one we watched recently was the Endangered Species Act, which is like crazy. Like you would think there's like nothing wrong with it, but we found out they like read between the lines, and they found out that like the Endangered Species Act, which most people think is like designed to protect animals, it's actually like a government thing to like kind of control corporations so that they can't build on property that are considered endangered species like habitats.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
So like what happens is like these corporations will have like this property that they're going to build like their new Walmarts on or something, and they can't because of these endangered species. So they have this land that they can't sell because nobody wants property, and it gets all like crazy. But it's like really biased. So I don't want to like push like with their message, because I don't know how true it is. Like they kind of like, because the way the show's set up, they'll like interview somebody who like is like obviously wrong, and they'll be like, "Wait, what the fuck did he just say?" Like,
they have a comedic twist.
It's really funny. But yeah, I've been getting into that show recently. It's a little bit dated because it came out like not too long ago. It was on Showtime or HBO or something like that. But it's a really cool show.
Cool, yeah. I have to check that out.
Yeah, Randy showed that to me for the first time. It was really cool. I wanted to get into it. What other shows are we watching? Nothing really, honestly. I don't watch that much TV.
Yeah, I pick up a couple things here and there. Because like the one thing with me was like, there's like people that I know and stuff. They can seem like they can watch like 3 or 4 or 5 shows at the same time and watch all of them through. Like, I tend to like, if I need a show, like I always need like someone to watch it with, kind of, and like,
yeah, me too.
You know, like I enjoy that better. Like I can't just sit there and just like watch like Netflix.
Yeah, I can't make myself do it.
Yeah, but it's it depends on what it is. But recently, like Black Mirror is something I watched. I always pick up shows that I've seen. Old shows too. I always tend to pick up. Like I'm okay watching a rerun or something. Like,
Yeah.
So like Workaholics, I was watching the other day, which was fun.
That's what I've been watching.
Yeah, Workaholics. Yeah.
I've been scared of like getting into these TV series because like they're all like really most of them are really continuous. Like you have to watch the first episode to know what's going on in the second episode, and it's cool how it's set up because it's like then like they can pretty much guarantee it's like a really cool story, and it's a lot more than you can cram in like a movie where you only have like an hour and a half to get your message across or like get the plot across or whatever. So it's cool like to see like these characters develop and stuff. But it's such a commitment. Like when you watch these shows, you have to like you can't just start watching it because like they always have these cliffhangers at the end of them, and they're like, oh, what's gonna happen next? And you have to watch them, and it's just like, I don't have time for this. I have things in my life that I have to do.
Yeah. Netflix was just saying that in general, they're going more to shows anyhow. Like it seems like the movie content has been kind of going down in exchange for more. Like Netflix original shows and just shows in general.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I guess that follows into people's general liking better. I don't know. People just tend to they're more capable of watching, just binge watching shows, like, so.
Yeah, that's what people do, man. They'll order Chinese food or a pizza and they'll just fucking watch an entire series.
Well, that's definitely still fun.
From start to finish. I don't know how people live that way. I don't know. That's just not me though. I prefer to watch comedies because you can watch them in any order. And you can still follow what's going on because you know enough about the characters, like The Simpsons, for example.
Yeah,
like you can watch any episode of The Simpsons, and you won't have to know what's going on in order to know what's going on.
Yeah, Colony's always like you can put that on for me, and I'm always good with that. Like
Colony, what's Colony? I never heard of that.
Or comedy in general.
Oh,
like yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's just you can put that on, and that's always good with me. Like
yeah.
So
yeah. just mess around with.
Who's your favorite comedians now? Do you have any in general or listening to?
I don't know. I like a lot of comedians. There's a lot of great ones. I saw Todd Glass recently at the Helium Comedy Club, and it was a pretty good time. It was different than what I thought it was, though, because I think like comedians kind of they develop their style over time. And I watched like their specials from like years ago, so like their jokes are different. But yeah, I don't know. I do like a lot of comedians though. There's a lot of great ones like Brian Callen. I'm really excited to hear more from him because he's so funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah. When
I'm at work and I need to get myself a pick me up, I listen to Joey Diaz. That's
Joey Diaz.
Because I sometimes I just need that vulgarness to like cut the thick air that's going on at work, and I
love how fired up he gets.
Yeah, he just gets so ramped up and like it's just he gives it to you so straight and like it doesn't matter what he says. It's hilarious.
Every one of his stories are just so funny to listen to because like every story like. At some point, or like it always starts with him like getting his dick sucked, or like selling cocaine, or like kidnapping people. Like they're like ridiculous, stories. Out of the world. Like, and I've heard like some people complain that like his stories are like not, they're like really embellished, but I don't even care. They're so funny.
Yeah. Like if you can sell a joke, and that's funny about people like like that too, when they can just put it all out there on the table right away. Like it's kind of like reverse type of like psychology. People tend to like take a while to warm up. He just goes right into you, like him, all right. And then you're almost like, should I get away from this guy? Like, is he a criminal? Like, yeah. Like
on the scale of 1 to 10, he starts at 10 and then he goes up to 15. It's like it's so crazy. His stories are nuts.
Yeah,
it's so funny to listen to him talk. He's such a funny, hilarious, ridiculous person.
The amount of drugs that guy's had in his lifetime is just off the charts. Like,
yeah,
it's great.
I don't know. I think it was a pretty good show. I mean, I guess we could probably wrap this up. I think we've been talking for long enough. Yeah. So, Randy, I know you talked a lot about playing Team Fortress, right? Is that you still play that, right?
Yeah, I still play it.
And you play it actively online, and you play it on Steam,
right?
And we talked a little bit about your clan a little bit, but that was before we were recording. We should probably mention that, right? So, you're a part of. What's your clan called? Is it okay if people know about it before we start calling them out?
Kind of interesting name, but it's called Obamacare Death Camp.
Obamacare Death Camp. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, it's okay. That's
just totally whatever you want. So that's what we chose with.
Okay, so should people look out for that? Do you guys have like a clan tag like on your names when you play?
Yeah, it's .gov.
.gov. Okay, so if you see .gov people, you'll know you're probably playing with my brother. Okay, so where can people find you? I know you have Twitch, right?
Yeah,
Twitch,
you have a Twitch. It's
/ Messiah J. It's MESSIA _J, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, and you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I sometimes upload like POVs, like demos and things like that.
Okay.
And, it's called Hertz 35.
Hertz 35. That's HERTZ 35 on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And Jay, you have no social media whatsoever. So.
Yeah. I like to live under a rock. You can catch me by smoke signals. That's a good way to get me. Pigeons, they can attach a little tiny note to the pigeon's leg and just tell them to come to my house. They'll come to my house.
Old school Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys want to contact Jay, you can get to him through me. I guess I'll relay messages to Jay if you want.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get my social media up in par at some point. So that will come soon, a future date, I'm sure. So we'll get there.
Okay, thanks again, everybody, for listening. Thank you for watching us live, especially. That's really important. It's awesome. And if you're not watching live, thank you for watching on YouTube or downloading the MP3s that I'll provide later on. Later on tomorrow, we'll be talking with Dragonfly. So that'll be pretty exciting. We'll have Splatterhouse and Dragonfly on the show. We'll talk about some of his projects. And thanks again for listening. All right, later.